Yes, everybody, welcome back to TarHeelIllustrated.com, or, of course, if you are watching on our fast-growing YouTube channel, that's Tar Heel Illustrated. I'm THI staff writer Jacob Turner, and joining me, as he always does, our very own publisher, Andrew Jones. And AJ, we're here for yet another episode of our UNC football off-season ISO series. And in this one, we're here to talk about Power Echols, sophomore linebacker for the Tar Heels. Appeared in 13 games at linebacker as a true freshman last season, finished the season with 25 tackles, 1 tackle for loss, 1 interception in one hurry. AJ, I think he's going to be a pretty integral part of the Carolina's defense next season. But before we look ahead, what are your thoughts on the true freshman campaign that Power Echols had last year for the Tar Heels?
Lots of stuff learned and lots of flashes. The interception, near return for a touchdown against Georgia State, he stepped on the line. That was sort of an early look at, okay, he read the play well, athletic, caught it. Even though he stepped out of bounds, it was pretty good balance to stay in bounds most of that run and return it as he did. The athletic stuff wasn't really in question, but there are a lot of really, really good athletes that when they get on a college football field, they're not great athletes anymore, but he was. Now, the ferocity is something that we took some time before we really got a chance to see that, because I think a lot of times you got to 3 or 4 snaps, you're not really going to tell unless the guy just happens to have one of those head-on type plays. But you want to see him get a lot of reps to really see what they're all about. And he did that. You know, he played 155 snaps on defense last year, and 64 were against Wake and South Carolina. Because remember, in the Wake game, Jeremiah Gemmel got tossed early. Yeah. And then Gemmel was not well in the South Carolina game. Tried to couldn't. And Power ended up getting the bulk of those reps. In fact, one of the very few positives that came out of the South Carolina game were the reps that Power got. Some were really good. Some were true freshman reps. So he got a chance in the end to get enough experience to see a lot of stuff on film to learn from. He also played 209 plays on special teams. He was on the kickoff team, the punt return team, kickoff return team. So again, he's in athletic roles, but also roles where his physicality was needed too. So we got to see the staff has very high expectations for the breadth of his game, the range of his game. You know, he could be a middle linebacker who stops the run. He could be a guy who covers and picks off a ball. So they really, really like what he could become. I think there are people inside that will tell you privately, the expectation is he ends up an NFL guy. But he's a long way from being that right now. But the reps he ended up getting, you know, as much as you want Jeremiah Gemmel on the field last year, the fact that Power got all those reps against 64 against Wake, 49 against South Carolina was huge for his development. This year's team will be better off because he got those snaps. And I think he's not a plug-and-play guy yet, but I think he's close to being a plug-and-play guy.
Oh, agreed. I think he's a fantastic athlete. I think when you see him up close and personal too, he's just size-wise for a true freshman last year. He didn't look like a true freshman. I think that's something that not only Carolina staff is excited about, but Carolina fans should be excited about as too, because as he continues to get in the weight room, get more reps, become more comfortable in what he's supposed to do, and he'll definitely get more chances this year with Jeremiah Gemmel obviously graduating. I think he's going to be an integral part of the defense. AJ, before we look ahead real quick, before we wrap this one up on that too, I want to give a shout out to Tar Heel Illustrated on this one. Guys, come join our awesome community, $8.33 a month. You can sign up to be a Carolina insider too. When I say our boards are on fire right now, I absolutely mean it. Here's the problem though, guys. If you want to see what's on our premium message boards, if you want to get involved in the chat, if you want to be able to access that insider information that we provide, you have to be a premium subscriber. AJ took over the site 2014. Price is $8.33 a month. Fast forward to July 2022. The price is still $8.33 a month, guys. So come over here and join our awesome community. It's a great time to do so. Link is in the description below. You can be a Carolina insider too. And we'd absolutely love to have you over here at TarHeelIllustrated.com. So AJ, I want to reference a quote, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe it was Tommy Thigpen who said this, linebacker coach for the Tar Heels. He mentioned it at Carolina's summer media day, which happened a couple of weeks ago. He had a really awesome quote about Power Echols and just kind of how excited he was for him. I forgot the exact wordage he used. I probably should pull the quote up, but I'm not going to do that right now because it'd probably take me 5 minutes to find it.
So just paraphrase.
Yeah. He basically just said that in a lot of ways, and I'm really super paraphrasing this a lot, said he was just really excited about the kind of guy. He loves his energy, his tenacity, and the way he plays. And to me, I think that really sums up Power Echols and what we saw last year. And looking ahead to this year, I think his role is going to be huge on this defense. I think he's going to be a guy. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. I think he's a guy that a lot of people are expecting to start with Jeremiah Gemmel leaving, playing as many games as Echols did last year. I think he's ready to step into that role. And I think he's a guy that will excel in that role. So, AJ, what do you think is Power Echols' role on this next year's team? Because like I said, I think he's going to be an integral part of that defense.
Well, yeah, I said a minute ago about being plug and play. He's going to be the starter, but what I mean by plug and play is that somebody just insert and it's like you never miss a beat or anything like that.
Yeah,
it'll take some time for him to kind of to get to the point where Jeremiah was with respect to Jeremiah's experience and ability to. Jeremiah had a really good ability to make something happen when stuff breaks, and they had a lot of breaking in communication last year. He was very frustrated on the field a lot. I think Power's not going to have to deal with as much of that for a lot of reasons. One, Cedric Gray's going to be making a lot of the calls. Number two, they're not going to have mass communication arrows firing all over the place. Look, it's like when fireworks go bad and they start shooting off. That's what the communication was like on defense last year at times. Power, like everybody, they will all benefit from a more simplified approach from a communication standpoint and from a scheme standpoint. He's a dude. So you got to let dudes be dudes. And I think with Power Echols, he's going to have a chance to really flourish in this defense because the defense is built to allow guys like him to be the players that they can be, the Des Evanses of the world, the Power Echols of the world. You're going to see those DBs, those corners flourish even more, I think, in this defense. But, Power, he needs more experience. He needs to see more live action. He needs to see more variances from the opposition as far as scheme and approach and attack, and some that use cadence, some that don't use cadence, that kind of thing. So he needs experience, but I think a lot of the tools are there. He's the kind of kid that I would imagine when he sits down with Thigpen and looks at game film after Florida A&M, and I know it's Florida A&M, so he might look really good in that game, but they'll still be able to tell with the breaks and other things that he does, okay, we can really grade the intangibles here. Then you fast forward to maybe the Duke game in mid-October, what he's like there, what his grade is there. I think he's going to grade out a lot better after that game in pre-snap stuff and on immediate reaction stuff to when the ball is snapped than he will in the first game because he's young and he needs a lot of game reps. But man, he's got the tools.
Absolutely,
he's got the tools. He's got more upside than Jeremiah. Mac called Jeremiah an NFL player for a couple of years, so and he's going to be at a camp. He's got more tools. He's got more tools than Cedric Gray. And I think he's got more. Ra is a great athlete, maybe faster from sideline to sideline, but Power is built more for the role. If you look at the linebacker room, the guy that pops is Power Echols because of the way he looked, because of all of the upside in so many areas of his game. So now it's just a matter of getting on the field, getting those reps, making mistakes and learning from those mistakes and growing the game. And I think we'll see that happen over the course of this season. And it's going to be fun to watch and fun to chronicle.
Absolutely. AJ, future fan favorite, in my opinion. I mean, when your name's Power as well and you look like and play like he does, you're going to be a fan favorite. There's no doubt about it. One of the best names in college football. Carolina's got a few of them. He's not the only one. Heck, they have if you had like an all-name team, I think Carolina's top 5 in the country, could be top 3 for all I know, because they got some absolutely fantastic names on that roster. Power being one of them.
As much chest pounding as Ra does, he will politic for that name for him.
Oh yeah, 100%. Storm Duck right there too, because that's an elite name. I'm telling you guys, Carolina, they've got some elite names. And if you look,
but there is a precedent. I'm an Orioles fan. Yeah. And I saw Storm Davis take a perfect game into the 9th inning against the Detroit Tigers back in 1984. Rick Leach broke it up with a double the opposite way. I know. My brother likes to call me Rain Man when it comes to Orioles stuff, but I don't know if there's any precedence for a guy named Ra. So
I
know his name is Raniero, but still he goes by Ra. So I think Ra probably wins that competition. But Power is a great name, and Power is a fitting name. Mm-hmm. You're a middle linebacker named Power Echols. He's gonna make that work for him. That is a great name for his role, his abilities, his skill level, and his ferocity. When you talk to the guys around the team, they talk about the ferocity. Mm-hmm. He hits through people. So we're going to see some pops this year. They're going to make some highlights, and it's going to be fun to watch.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm gonna end this one on a quick baseball reference, AJ, which you'd be super impressed with. And Carolina fans are gonna love this because a former Carolina baseball player, best name I've ever seen in sports. Former, I don't know if he was an outfielder. Don't quote me on that. For the Tar Heels, Sky Bolt, fantastic name. I go to Carolina baseball games a fair amount during the season, and that name when he was there a few years ago was absolutely fantastic. Sky Bolt doesn't get any better than that. I believe he's in the Oakland Athletics organization right now. Don't quote me on that either, but I had to throw that in there because as soon as we start talking all name teams, Skybolt for me was just top of the list. That's an absolutely fantastic name. Go ahead and wrap this one up before we keep talking names on here. I know baseball, maybe not the greatest sport for that name. I think sprinter probably would have been better. Something like that.
Baseball's all about nicknames anyway. Once you get inside the baseball world, it's like hockey. Hockey, they just take a form of the last name and give it a nickname.
Exactly.
Yeah, I covered the Hurricanes for a long time, and you don't ever address anybody like you as the media do, but the players don't address each other by their names. You're Turner, you'd be Turnsey.
Yeah. So they do that in soccer too. They do that. I'm a big
Carolina Hurricanes locker room. You'd be Turnsey. I'd be Jonesy. You'd be Turnsey.
Yeah.
Kevin Roy, he'd be Roysey. Dina King, she'd be Kingsey.
Kingsey. I like that.
Or Miss Kingsey. I'd have to.
Yeah, there we go. You got to throw the miss
clarification on there. But anyway, we've gone off the rails here.
Hey, I had to throw the Skybolt reference. Like I said, if we're talking all names,
that's a good one.
Throw that in there.
I'm proud of you for going the baseball route. That's
I had to. AJ, Carolina baseball fans. I know there's some Carolina baseball fans watching that. They know exactly who I'm talking about, and they know he was one of the better players to come out of Carolina. So I had to get that baseball reference here. But before we keep talking names for the next hour, AJ, let's wrap this one up. I've been Jacob Turner. He's been Andrew Jones for the Power Echols edition of our offseason UNC football ISO series. Guys, we appreciate you watching. If you want to see the other ones we've done, go to our YouTube channel, playlist tab. You'll see a UNC football ISO series. Click on that, rifle through them, and enjoy the content. Like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell as well. We'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks.